Hello everyone, how are you? Ooh, I got one of those like random hairs in my eyes right as I came over to here. So good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, with the exception of Colleen, is everyone from Canada? I never thought I'd be big in Canada, but here we are. We're here for a, what did I call it? Balance and play. That's what I called it, balance and play class. My allergies are beyond, and I ran out of my Zyrtec, so I'm gonna be a little sniffly this morning. For that, I apologize, but hopefully we'll make it through together. In addition, I wanna just reiterate what I put in the chat. And that is, there we go, that's straighter. You know, I love Canada, by the way. I had my first crush on a boy in Canada, in Quebec, for like 3 hours, and then we went back to the hotel. That was it. It's not a big good story. So we have a resistance band. If you have a resistance band, great. If you don't, we're just gonna work with the idea of resistance because we're gonna warm up our hips. We're gonna use the chair just a tiny bit, mostly for balance, more than anything else, and then just your mat. So we've got a little bit of balance, functional kind of movement to go through. My face is on fire. You know what happened is I ate some Halloween candy, and here's the thing, I like candy. There are certain candies that don't like me, and I got glutened, and so I've been just like on a histamine journey and ran out of the Zyrtec, so you know, we live and learn. I'm gonna go stock up later. So let's just begin standing. Now we think about balance often as the ability to just stand on one leg really well, and oftentimes I do use that little exercise as a test at the end of class just to kind of check in with how everything aligns. But balance is a dynamic system, and unless you are in some level of performative sport or art like ballet or gymnastics, the goal of balance for you is not to be still for hours. The goal of balance for you is to be able to be kind of knocked off your center of gravity and then quickly come back onto it. So one of my favorite quotes in a different realm of mental health is, when it comes down to it, it's not about the setbacks, it's your comeback rate. And that's what I want you to think about. So we're gonna do a little falling, gentle falling, but it'll all be good. So let's start standing. Take your feet just heel toe a little bit wider than your hips, and the chair's here if you need it, but if you don't, you can absolutely just stand and find it. So our hips are square, and if you kind of find your hip bones, and then I like to just jab my thumbs into the space before the back of your pelvis gets rounder. We're gonna call it like this. So there's some little, they're not really like, I don't wanna say indentations because we don't always have them there, I don't, but you can feel that if you shift side to side, that your thumb kind of moves in closer on one side and farther out on the other, and vice versa. So that's what I wanna start with. Unlock your knees, feel yourself lifted up through the center, and then shift over to your right leg, push your right hip out a little bit, and then come back through center and shift over to your left leg, push your hip out a little bit, and come back to center. So the way I want you to think about this, it's like your pelvis is on a shelf, and you're just kind of sliding it side to side, just like you were gonna dust it off. Yeah, so we're not actually circling, we're shifting. This is called a lateral shift. Yeah, and I love all the dog talk. Today I remembered the food, so Flash is fed and now asleep. But if he wants to be on camera, he will tell you he's on camera. There's such a cute movie for my dog lovers out there, and I'm gonna forget the name of it, but I think it just came up on Netflix. It's with Josh Duhamel and Megan, what's her name? She's in Transformers too, but it's about this little kid who discovers a way to make his dog talk, and he can understand him. And it's very cute, very like PG, you know, if you want just like a fun movie, and if your dogs watch television like mine do, it's great. I'll find the name of it. Let's go for 4 more. Good, and as we're doing this, we're pushing our weight down into our footprints as well. So we're just kind of getting like that little weight bearing happening. Yeah, So now, as we shift over to the right, I want you to shift over so far, push so much weight down if you need your chair that you can lift your leg off. Have your toe and your heels in the same plane, and then come through center, shift over, and then lift. Yeah, yours watch, flash washes too. It's so like, and there's a, I don't wanna do a spoiler, there's a, how do I say this? There's a rescue scene with all the dogs, and they're all like, you know, hauling down the street. Uh-oh, pay attention, Jenna. Focus, come in. And anyway, it's really cute. And he was just like, oh my gosh. It was like pugs and Great Danes and everything like that. So super fun. Good, let's go side a little bit more. Ooh. I'm just oohing for the allergies. Shifting, reaching. And so it's really less about lifting the leg at this point in time, and it's actually more about pushing the weight down into the supporting leg, yeah? And again, a little bend in the knee. Let's do one more on this side, then we're gonna come over to the right. Again, if you need your chair for balance, hold it here. We're just gonna touch the inner arch down and then lift and down. Now, as you watch my hips, notice that what I'm not doing is lifting my hip to lift the leg. That's not what we're doing right now. Instead, we're just moving the leg, and you're gonna feel a little bit of sensation, which is the teaching word for ow, on the side of your hips. Shouldn't be too much ow though. We're not going for pain. You know, we're going for fatigue. Let's go for 4. And 3. Good. And 2. And 1. Come on down, shift over to the other side. Bring your heel out. I'm gonna try it with the balance over here. Lift and lower. So, my husband does the laundry in our house. Pause for that. And he got a new like detergent or something. It's quite possible I'm allergic to it. However, it smells delicious, and I'm just really enjoying what's happening right now in terms of the sensations that are coming up. Thank you, Josh. You are the best. Good. 2. And 1. All right, let's come back into the center. I'm gonna turn to face my chair so you can watch here, and just have the back of your chair in front of you here. So we're gonna fold at the hips like we normally do. Take your hands on your chair. Have your legs straight or bent enough to get your body so that you have a 90-degree angle at your hip joint. Bend your knees, curl your tail, round your spine. This is your cat-cow in standing. And then you can bend your knees. You could straighten them if you want a little more hamstring. Ooh, calf stretch, reaching here. So why are we warming up all these different parts? Again, because balance, like everything in the body, is a result of having an ecosystem where everything knows what it's supposed to do at a given time. And so as we move through these different motions and warm up the little muscles on our back body and the muscles on our front body and the muscles of our legs, etc., we end up finding a little bit more access to support when we do go to balance on one leg. So let's go one more time into the arch. So feel that back bend. And then from here, we're gonna try to find a flat back. And notice how I'm not at my 90-degree now. I'm more kind of, I don't know, 45, 60 maybe. My geometry kind of stops at 90. All right, walk your feet a little closer together so they're got about a width of your fist between your ankles. Shift your weight onto the back leg, and now take your opposite leg out to the side. We're gonna do the same thing, lifting up and lowering down. Just like we might do if we were on a quadruped or hands and knees on the mat, we're really finding that support on the front body and trying to lift that leg straight out to the side. Yeah, good. We're gonna do 2 more here. Out and touch, and out and touch. Now from here, circle your leg around so that the ball of your foot is on the mat. And now we're gonna lift up. Now notice my back doesn't collapse when I lift that hip, and my hip doesn't open, not yet at least. Right now we're gonna focus the hip down to the ground. So a lot of times on these, let's go, on these Thursday classes, we're really focusing on recovery from a more relaxation point of view. And we're gonna do a little of that at the end, but today is like really much more of an active recovery for our hips and an integration of our balance. And I've got an assignment for you at the end, so stick around. We'll go for 4 and 3. I'm looking for that place where I feel like I'm fully open in the front of my hip. I can't lift any higher without my back giving out, or giving way, I should say. Was that 4? Here's 4. Good. All right, come back into center. Roll all the way up. Give it a little shake side to side. Sometimes we need that to happen. Hey, Flashy, the people want to know, where are you? You want to come over here? Come here. Come here. I don't think he's coming. Come on. All right, let's bring it back down into that angle. Is it like yoga, what we're doing now? Balance is a component of yoga. What we're doing is much more in the realm of like exploring active ranges of motion. So this definitely falls more into the realm of biomechanics. Certainly my experience as a personal trainer, a lot of rehab patterning, functional patterning. That's what we're trying to get at, and some mobility work too. All right, so we're still on the first leg and we're here. So what we want to do, is take your foot back firstly, and again, keep those hips square to the chair. We're going to lift that leg up to the level of your hip, pretty much as high as you can, again, without letting your lower back collapse. So I've got this nice strong support system. Then we're going to bring it around and out to the side and touch it down. Then we're going to lift it out to the side, bring it around to the back and touch it down. Toes face the mat as we're here, and then toes face front. The arch of your foot is facing the mat as you're here. So you have a couple different orientations of your hip. And if you haven't joined me yet, now's the time. The goal is that everything else stays pretty steady. If you peek at what I'm doing, hopefully it looks like nothing else is moving. The heat's on in the studio, and it is on inside of me as well. So we're just really juicing up that joint, and it's not uncommon to feel a lot of work in the other hip as well, yeah? Let's go for a couple more. Got a little bop and beat to keep us going today. Good, last one. And then come all the way in. Woo, can we feel that? Stand up and feel how those hips actually support you now. Before we go to the other side, we're gonna do a little ankle work. Let me just bring my chair closer. Fingertips on your chair. You can use a counter, you can use whatever you need. And then bring your feet hip width distance apart. And then feel the alignment that we work on all the time. Knees over ankles, hips over knees, rib cage, shoulders, crown of head. You can think of the weight plate. We're just gonna rise up and down. Rise up and down. Now as you're rising up, think about the cadence being pretty consistent. We're not popping up and down, not yet at least. Kind of 2 counts up, 2 counts down. Lift, lift, and lower, lower. Lift, lift. I'm always looking for my hips to grow longer, to feel that support on the front body, feel that tailbone hanging down in the back body. There's definitely a component of hip support as we rise. Good. Is she sneaking in a little bit of a rehab into the class? Yes, she is. It's all good for balance. Good, we've got 2 more here. We're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. We're gonna bend with the heels lifted, straighten the knees. Here we go. Bend the heels, stay lifted, stretch up to the top. Bending down. It's not important whether you hold on or not right now. We're working the ankle, knees, and hips in a really challenging way. If your legs start shaking, which mine will, just understand that it's almost like learning a new language for your body. I'm on the Pilates Reddit, subreddit, forum, thread, whatever you call it, still learning about it. And a lot of the things we talk about, or a lot of the questions are like, is it okay for me to feel this way in my body? And the answer is yes, it's okay to feel any way in your body. We gotta trust our feelings. Unless it's pain, in which case you gotta ask yourself, like, what am I sacrificing? Or what am I not listening to, right? We're almost there, everybody. 3 more. So if you're experiencing pain, but you're still going, and you're kind of in the mindset of like, am I doing this wrong because I'm in pain? Lower down. The answer is maybe you're not in a form that would allow you to not experience the same painful sensation. However, on the flip side of it is this space where you go, why am I pushing myself through pain? What is the motivation to stay in this painful place? And do I have another choice, kind of thing. Booty bar. Tracy Mallet is my friend, as a matter of fact. Let's come into a nice long hinge and then take it out to the side. And now we're going to go out and down. Yeah, I think we've got a couple of Barbies. I don't like bar babes, I just don't like babe in general, but bar enthusiasts, yes. All right, so we're just going to the side, same thing we did before. So a little of this, yeah, sure. I'm not a bar teacher. Spent too many years at the bar as a ballerina. But I'm sure that these are definitely comparable to what you see in a bar class. Right now, the intention is to explore the range of motion and find the nth degree of that range. It's not to burn it out, okay? There's an endurance component. You might be burning a little bit, but I don't want you to go for the burn. I want you to go for the range. Good. We've got 3 more. A little shaky. Good. 1 more. Come all the way in, bend, come up, give it a little shake out before we go to the back. One of the things that I don't love about bar for my body is the gajillions of repetitions. I don't think Tracy teaches like that. But when I've gone to a bar class, I've just like gotten the wrong places too tight. I like to work in full ranges of motion, so that's my personal preference. However, everybody's different, you know? Some people's yuck is another person's yum. What are you gonna do? Let's bring it out forward. All right, bring that leg back in line, and then we lift, and then we lower. Good. And I have mentored a lot of bar studios in terms of working through their business offerings, which has been pretty cool. So, I don't dislike bar, to be clear. I just think there's a couple of ways that I like to move my body when I have a chance. Good. And I have taught bar before. Like, I should say, I don't teach bar as the typical, I teach a ballet bar, is essentially what it is. You know, I do have a degree in it after all. Yes. Good. We go for 4. Excellent. How are those hips? How is the chest? How's the reach through the head? 2. Good. And 1. And good. Come all the way in. Let's take a little break. Realign. Stand up tall. Tracy says, agree with too many repetitions. Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting thing. We're gonna do our little circles, okay? So hinge at the hips, send your leg back. We're gonna lift it up in line with the hips, circle around, touch the arch down, reach it out to the side, keep those hips square. Jenna, lift and reach. So, you know, repetitions can accomplish a couple things. 1, they can really make you feel like you're having a great workout and you're pushing your endurance. All for it. 2, they can push you past the level of what you're able to support, and you can get injury or stress your body too much. 3, you can find your edge and in some cases gain resilience or find new support systems. So the repetitions I give are kind of designed to be somewhere in the middle. I'll never forget, I was teaching a class of, let's say 50, and the oldest person in there was probably 75-year-olds. And I asked them all to do the same exercise. And each one had a different threshold of endurance, and it really reminded me that we're all wired to do different things, you know? Good. We're all wired for different levels of stress to manage it. I think this should be our last one. Come on in. Ooh, oh my goodness. Shake, 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 shake. Shake that pelvis. Here we go. All right, one more round of our heel lifts, calf raises, releve, whatever you want to call it. Find your alignment. We're going up and down. That's our tempo. Lift, lower. Keep going. The pigeons. You all ever watch, I don't want to get bleeped off of it, but rhymes with It's Creek. I don't want to get bleeped for using a bad word. Keep going. So, what is it? What is it? The thing that Moira does? It's not the hills have eyes, is it? The birds have eyes. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? You know, the film that she does. The crows have eyes. Is that what it is? Anyway, I got this group of pigeons. It's like a pigeon mafia. And they are demanding. They now talk to me out the window. They know right around 11, they come up and they're like, and I'm like, okay, guys. We were in the hardware store this weekend. Josh is like, why are you getting birdseed? I'm like, I don't want the pigeons to yell at me. Because they will. All right, let's do one more up. To the top, hold, bend and stretch, down and up. Now, if you peek at the screen, I hope what you'll see is that my shoulders are over my hips as I bend and stretch. It's kind of like I'm pulling my knees right underneath. Is it the crows have eyes? Is that what it is? I see the scene so perfectly, but I can't remember the name of it. I love that show. I want to live there. Good. Let's go for 8 more. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Last one. All right, good. Let's lower those heels down. Let's walk back. Just take a long stretch for your hamstrings, for your calves. If you can walk down onto your chair, kind of tilt your tailbone up. A little shake from side to side. Woo. Good. All right, so we're going to practice some fall strategies now. But first, we have one more thing to do. If you need your chair, you can definitely keep it close by. I'm gonna put mine back here for right now. We have some heel taps to do, and you can actually do these seated. What I'm gonna do is place my heels on the mat with my toes down, just to challenge the amount of flexion, dorsiflexion, what it's called, that I'm getting through my ankles. So we're gonna play like we're little tap dancers. Take your hands on your hips, bend your knees a little, keep your posture strong. Start on the right foot, and we're going tap, tap, tap. But think of it as up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So the up is the accent. Up, 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 up. Keep going. This is gonna feel like a silly, silly, silly exercise. And then suddenly, it'll all make sense. Just stay here. Good. Yeah. Ooh, I like the leg emoji. Good, we go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, can you feel it? 3, we're not done with the right yet. We're gonna tap it out to the side. Go tap, 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 tap. Just take it as far out as your own leg will take you. Hip still facing front. This is a rotation from the thigh. If you're feeling your shins pumping, that is correct. 4, 3, 2, 1, tap it front. Good. This is why I'm not as successful as we want me to be on YouTube, because I do these sort of like functional exercises that aren't for like, nobody thinks, man, I just want to make my shins more toned. There's not one person in the world who's worried about their shins. 4, 3, 2, holy moly. All right, take that foot, tuck it under, use your chair if you need to, just give it a little bend and stretch out that shin in front. Why are we working this? I bet Heather knows, but you don't have to answer, just keep moving your body. Can we stop already? It's an endurance exercise. So we're working the shin muscle, which is called your anterior tibialis, because it is one of the most important balance muscles you have. Wow, here we are thinking we do crunches all day long and we'll be ready to go. Nope, sorry. It's these and ankle mobility over most other things, knee and hip too. Irish dancers are worried about their shins. But Heather, like, I want to yes and that. Is it the shins or is it the calves? I mean, I know they're worried about their shins from a functional place, but aesthetically, are they worried about the shins? Woo, the toe. Okay, I'm not mad about that, Tracy. Let's go to the left. Up, 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 up. I don't know. So there's definitely a downbeat, but I'm trying to lift, 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 lift. I know. Yes and. I'm ready for a yes and. I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and he was like, of all people, you are the one who will always have the difficult conversations. You are like, your whole bio should just be yes and. Because I love kind of, weaving through different things. All right, we're gonna take it out to the side. Yes, Colleen says, I'm feeling it on the top of my foot. So there are definitely extensor muscles on your toes. Up, up. I lost the beat with the train. And it's not uncommon to feel them for sure. Yeah, my guess is that you haven't done something like this before. Tap them forward. We're almost here. It's pumping on me too. 8, 7, 6, 5. It's getting tired. 3, 2, hold. Other side. Sometimes opera singing is the best way to recover from an exercise. So many flicks and ankle work. Yeah. The shin splint, oh my God. I had to, in college, one of my theses, I had a couple of theses to do, and it was all about reconstructing. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Laban notation, but before the internet and VHS, there was like a codified way of writing down movement, and like when you think about all the little intricacies of movement, it's like a whole other language. So that was something I was learning. So I had to take the code and then reconstruct a Scottish sword dance. And yeah, it's on videotape, and no, you can't see it. All right, so where are we? We're on ankle strategy. We're gonna practice falling. You are in control of this, okay? So the deal is, the muscles on your shins that are pumped right now are the ones that pull your toe up towards your shin. So if you can imagine that they pull your toe up to your shin, what they also do is they pull your shin towards your toe when we take a step forward. So they help that crease at the front of the ankle stay deep. So just do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Step forward with one foot. How far forward can you go without lifting your back heel? And then step back. And then try it again. Maybe just challenge yourself way forward. And then maybe a little too hop back. So imagine you're walking down the street, you hit a curb, and you have to catch yourself forward. If you don't have mobility in your ankles, the chances of tipping are greater. If you do have mobility in your ankle, the chances of holding your ground and being able to catch yourself are greater. So we want that toe to shin or shin to toe action. So we're gonna practice with a couple lunges, all right? Take your hands on your hips wherever you want. You can use your chair to the side. We're just gonna lunge forward, try to deepen that crease, and come back up. The other side. Yeah. The trampoline will catch you. Lunge. and all the way up, and lunge. Yeah, and like take it from somebody who just experienced it. I know Colleen knows this from being in the boot too. Feet are everything when it comes to mobilizing on 2 legs. Not to say there aren't other options, and I have members of my family that mobilize beautifully without 2 legs. But when we talk about having the body, we want to honor it by working all the little parts and pieces as well, right? Sometimes I feel like the best way to kind of continue to create a world where the people who don't move on 2 legs can have access to other places is to remember how lucky we are, and also to do the most we can with them, not take our bodies for granted, right? Not be thankful we're not like them, that's not what I'm saying. I think some of those people are just the most, like, they put me to shame with what they can do. I just love working with a lot of my spinal cord injury clients, just general injury, sometimes nervous system stuff. It's like they are in it, and I want us to be in it too. We're gonna do 4 more. Reach it and back. I'm not doing anything technical with my arms because I want you to feel that this is more pedestrian. 2, good, and 1 more. Good, all right. So something that can be helpful if you have a partner with you for the next one, we're gonna practice a hip strategy. And essentially a hip strategy is folding at your hips. So imagine gently, carefully, with your mental health intact, that you're at the edge of, I don't know, a cliff. Let's just say the edge of a step, and you don't wanna fall down the steps. That's when a hip strategy is gonna come in. So an ankle strategy is I'm moving forward, I catch myself, I keep my heel down. A hip strategy is, whoa, I caught myself from my hips. All right, so we're gonna do a couple hip hinges, but sometimes it can be helpful if you have someone you trust and you agree that you are not trying to hurt each other, to have somebody give you a push, okay? So it's almost like a trust fall. You just wait and you have them push you gently and you hip strategy into the fall, okay? So let's try a couple of hip strategies. Ready? 1, 2, 3, lean forward. It's a fold in your hip, you're strong in your core, you're pressing down through your legs, you come back up. Think of somebody pushing you on the shoulders and catch yourself. And again, and catch yourself. I'm trying to think of a better way to do this. And catch yourself. How about whenever I say banana, you fall into a hip strategy, okay? I'm gonna go A, B, C, banana. D, E, F, G, banana. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, banana. Q, P, Q, R, banana. S, T, banana. U, V, W, banana. Y, banana. Did that work? I don't think it worked, but it was fun for me. All right, so we've got hip strategy. We've got ankle strategy. Now we're gonna shift on and off of our midline. Where are we? We're doing all right. If you'd like to work with a band, I'll invite you to gather your band right now. I'm gonna take a quick drink because life. Skiing downhill, yeah, sure. Just like ski jumping. Too hard for us. So, Colleen, because I know you have a partner there, put this one on the assignment, right? Banana, no, I'm just kidding, of that folding in the hip. So what I'll do is I will have my clients in the studio. I kind of hook them up to a strap like this where they're either I'm holding them back or they're connected to the wall or a heavy piece of equipment. And like, again, we have trust, we've talked about it, the consent is there. And then we're just talking and I give them a push and okay, pretty fun. All right, so here we are. We're gonna work a little more in the hips, but in the mode of shifting on and off center. And what I want you to do if you're working with a band is to keep the tension on the band. So your feet are probably gonna be a little wider than they might normally be. And then, so we're gonna take a step out to the side. We're gonna catch it. You got a different ankle strategy here, right? So a little inward folding. Everybody's freaked out about working their ankles in this way. You're gonna be fine. We're training it, right? Then we're gonna come back in and come back up. Yeah, no competition. You have to be consensual in this. But believe me, I am married to that person as well. And I am that person. Who are we kidding? All right, step out to the side and then come back up. And step out to the side and come back up. And step out to the side and come back up. We're balancing, right? Because when you come back up, think of pushing this leg out to the side. Don't move your foot. It's just that intention of outer thigh into the band to help us. Good. Reach. And up. And reach. And up. And reach. And up. And one more. Now we're gonna add on to this side. So we'll tap. We're gonna march, tap down, side lunge, tap here. We'll go so a couple times. March. And again, you don't need a band. You just need to be connected to those outer thighs. There we go. Lift, tap down, lunge, tap up one more time, and then we're gonna take up the pace a little. Tap down, turn off heater, please. I may have to fix that. All right, a little faster. Up, down, lunge, tap. Whoa, up, down. The whoas are the best moments because that's the moments you're gonna strategize. Up, good. We're gonna feel good after this, even though I know muscularly it's harder than we usually do on Thursdays. Thank God. Give me 4 more. Up. We will feel put together. 3. So you're bending over in the lunge, then you're standing up. 2. Good. 1 more. Up. Good. All right, last thing right here. Tapped on the toe, standing on the left leg. Think of your hip making like a horizontal figure 8. You're gonna bend your knee, you're gonna press that leg out, you're gonna come around. Now, the deal is, I know it looks like we're dancing. It's more about moving your hip socket around your femur. If you can do that with one leg off, ooh, a little fun on the left side. It should not be pretty. It's just getting all those things. This is also where a chair is gonna come in really handy. I'm gonna try it here. So one figure 8, the other side. Keeping a little tension on the band. Our knees moving in multiple planes. Yeah. I wanted to pump us up today. I needed it. Oh my gosh, I didn't even tell you all. Do you know what a sundog is? Not of the canine family. Does anyone know? I'll wait in the chat. Good. Let's go at least 2 more little figure 8s. I'm gonna turn that heat off because I'm not gonna make it if it turns on again. All right, tell me, woo! Hello, hips. Tell me if you know what a sundog is. They frantically Google, what is a sundog? No. Woo. Anyone? We're gonna get ready to go to the other side. Okay, with the side lunges. We're almost there, everybody. We're doing a great job. All right, I'm gonna wait just in case you know. If you don't know, I'll tap it in. All right, starting with wide feet. We take a side lunge out and we tap up. Good. By the way, I saw that thumbs up come up in the middle of it. I don't know if it's from like a fancy user or we hit a milestone. I know we are 1,325 views away from the necessary amount, so Joy, way to go. Good. Okay. So a sundog is a very rare occurrence of like a, what do they call it? A sheet of rainbow, or like a little of rainbow. It's not a rainbow. It's just like a little, it's different than an iridescent cloud. An iridescent cloud is more like rainbow surrounding the cloud. And there's a couple other ones, but a sundog is, I forget even why they call it that, but it's when there's lots of sunlight and excess moisture in the clouds, but it's super rare. I have seen 3 of them over the past 3 weeks, which means one of 3 things. The environment is collapsing. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully not. No. Grandma's trying to tell me it's gonna be okay. That's what I'm choosing to believe. My former pup, Horatio's trying to tell me it's gonna be okay. Last one here, which I also believe. Or change is on the horizon, which I kind of also believe. Here we go. We're gonna come up, tap, and reach out. So, I have different periods in my life. It's like true confessions. Don't tell anyone, you all. Where I go through like very active dreaming, lots of chaos. And sometimes I get like, I wake up to what feels like someone whispering to me, whether it's in the dream or not. The last time this happened, it was major change. Period of chaos followed by major change. This time, I heard the words, everything looks good. And that's what I woke up to. That was 2 nights ago. Everything looks good. Just like a confirmation, affirmation. Almost there, everybody. Last night, I don't even know what I was dreaming about. It was like nondescript. Coyote walks in, just like meanders in, just hangs out. No big deal. No message, no nothing. And then this morning, sundog. So I'm like, don't make it too chaotic. Here's our last one, please. Good, rest. Okay, you all, my goodness. Shake it out. We gotta do a standing roll down and roll up. Sorry, I'm so dehydrated today. I'm still climbing back from the Hallows Eve. Let's stand hip width distance. Just nice and easy. Come all the way down, rolling down. Yeah. Take your hands down, bend your knees. Yeah, and a couple of you know that it has been a very chaotic time as of recently. So the fact that my brain is showing up for me, trying to give me some breadcrumbs. Bend and stretch a couple more times. Good. Bring your legs to a place where, like, if you bend them, you can feel like you're hanging from your spine, as long as that feels good. I just want you to feel a sense of stretch across your back. And we're gonna press down and start to roll up. All the way to the top. All right, so I think we have definitely checked the box on play. Let's see how we're doing with some balance. So let's start standing on the left leg. Tap your right foot forward. This might be it for you. Hands across. Okay, we've been doing nothing but priming the systems of balance. First, let your weight drop through your standing leg. We're folding in the hip. We're gonna lift that leg up and lower down. Now, if you quivered on the first one, even if you can also just flex your foot off the ground, that's enough. Let your body quiver and find the alignment. See if you can kind of allow your body to unravel itself into a space where it can do a couple of leg lifts here. Yeah. All right, let's embrace the wobble as we do on the rebounder. We're gonna lift that knee up and hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, release. Shake it out. The wobble is part of it. No one ever said, I'm about to lose my balance and fall now, and I will be using my hip, knee, and ankle strategy to negotiate the fall so I don't injure myself. Are you ready? No, it happened. Fly. It happens, and you gotta, in a moment's notice. So that's why the wobble is important. It's a righting reflex. Oh, you know what, you all? We didn't do the figure eights on the other side. Let's do that real quick, and then it's okay if we don't have the band. I got too excited about a bunch of stuff. All right, so we're here, and then reach. I'm glad I didn't forget about that. It's okay, we'll do the balance right after this. So you're drawing a figure eight with your pelvis, mostly the right side of your pelvis if you're mirroring me. Good. All this play is so good for our nervous systems, and I will pin the link, but I dropped a link into the chat at the beginning because it is time to announce my new program. It's called NeuroTune. We're starting in a couple weeks. We're gonna have a week of support pre-Thanksgiving. The program starts the week following Thanksgiving. And it is a health coaching program with movement and nervous system regulation infused. I know, I felt like something was missing too, Tracy. We're just a couple more. I wasn't screaming quite as much in this hip as I was on the other one. Good. Woo! 4, 3, 2, 1. Ay, ay, ay. All right, yeah, there it is. So let's shake it out for a second. We'll get ready to balance on that other leg. So the program, I've tried to design it understanding that everybody's super busy and that we're also going through the holidays. You need the most support, you kind of have the least amount of time. So the program is going to be delivered as a private podcast, so an episode from me every week. If you've never listened to my podcast, look for Pilates Unfiltered. It is mainly Pilates based, but there's a lot of good, juicy stuff. I'm concentrating on client questions, right now. I would say it is one of my talents, talking. Would you agree? And either it's a talent or I just do it a lot. All right, let your weight drop into that right foot. All right, we lift up and then we lower down, just test drive. Yeah. So we've got a private podcast lesson. You're gonna get a class a week that goes along with the subject matter. We're starting with understanding your stress cycles. We move into realms like priming your brain, looking at your plate to support your hormonal health, which is a carryover from the challenge, but also we're gonna expand on what you guys did in the challenge. We're going into effective communication, understanding your own emotional intelligence, sleep hygiene, all things that feel like they're huge subjects to tackle, but the way that we're gonna tackle them is like easy assignments, little games each week. I don't know if you all are into podcasts. Let's hold it up on the next one. We're here for 8, 7, 6, embrace that wobble. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, lower it down. All right, let's get our chair and stretch. So I have podcasts that I listen to every single week, but some of them are shorter than others. Let's open our legs to the side and just give yourself a little press back like we did on the rebounder on Monday, a little inner thigh with your elbows. So my hope is that you'll have like an entertaining little TED Talk at the beginning. Let's walk our hands up onto our knees. Bring your right shoulder forward, left shoulder back, little twist in the spine. Yay! I'm glad you had fun. Let's go to the other side. But the idea, when my work as a health coach and a business coach works most, it's when you feel like my voice is in your ear. So I'm totally going to put it there in the podcast. But then we have this super cool like portal. Let's go right side again, where you'll get a bunch of resources. We're gonna play games throughout that are fun, that are really simple. It involves get outside, take pictures, et cetera, those kind of things. One more with the left shoulder. And you're gonna get assignments per week that are just like, choose one of these things. So each week you'll be building the beginnings of a new habit. Let's take the right knee over and just have it tucked back. Tuck your hips under a bit and take your hand forward. If you want to do that reach up, we've been doing a lot of this long hip flexor stretch all week. And I hope you'll consider joining me, or at least checking it out, sharing it with some folks. I'm absolutely 100% okay with one household doing one program. You don't have to do 2 programs. Come on down. And we're gonna have some community action happening as well. So I'm pretty excited about that part too. Tuck that tail under, open up your hip, reach. One of the things that I've been sharing is that, I qualified as a health coach. I've passed the test. I did the coursework at the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020. And I waited to put anything together. Come on up. Let's just do one more little foot stretch here. So you're gonna tuck your toes under. Sometimes this cramps, so if it does, just don't worry too much about it. Pull up a little bit on your knee and push down to the top of your foot so you can feel that stretch in your shin. So I waited because when I qualified as a health coach, I knew that what I had learned was no longer 100% applicable to the world because we were in the middle of a pandemic, So I started searching and focusing my research into, let's go to the other side, stress management, stress resilience. And what we don't understand enough in a multifaceted way is that cortisol has such an intense impact on all of the systems of the body. So the course looks like we're going to go through a lot, but we can't, it's like no body part left behind because we have to make sure that we're accounting for the ecosystem. So everything is going to be synthesized instead of jumping to new subject matter. It will start with, okay, we learned about your stress cycle and now we're going to learn about what foods can help you manage it. Like, did you know that Sour Patch Kids can actually help with your anxiety? I do. And it's not because of anything other than creating physical shift or interruption in the circuit. So I always fly with Sour Patch Kids. As we're about to go up in the plane, I throw a ton in my mouth. I let the sour happen. I pay attention to the texture and the flavor and the sourness. It piques your sensory, and it's the stressful thoughts about flying are interrupted, let's say. Sometimes you gotta eat a little more of them than you want to. Let's take that right foot forward, flex it. I always intend to make these classes super duper short. You know what? I'm okay with it. I hope you are too. Come on back, other side. You can tell when the playlist runs out. But anyways, the link is at the bottom. I hope you'll tune into it. I hope you'll check it out. Lemons work for it too. Yeah, 100%. I just happen to enjoy a Sour Patch Kid. Lemons work for it. Anything spicy, those kind of things. But we're gonna learn all these little tips and tricks that you probably have like a ton of resources in your own home, but you haven't really put them together in a plan for yourself. And that's the goal, is to create a kind of a living plan, how you live your life and manage the different stressors and the different responses and reactions to them by the way that you feed yourself, rest, move, interrupt signals at times, all of those things. So I would love any feedback you have. I really, some of you have given me feedback already. It's been really, really helpful, so thank you. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna, yay! Don't forget to figure out, ask yourself why the moves matter to your life today, just today. That's enough. Thank you for being here and sharing in this joyful, playful class. Banana. Did I say there's a discount code? Neuro23, Neuro 23, if you are interested. If you're not on my list, you should join the list, the mailing list, and you'll get all the details. If you did take if you took the hormone challenge, which is still open, you get a bigger discount, by the way. It's twice as much. So check that out. Oh, makes me feel better inside and out. Yeah, I feel much more like myself and I'm breathing better and I feel like I could balance all day long. I hope you do too. As always, thank you for being here. Share the love. Like, comment, subscribe. You've all comment. You know all the things. New people who are coming into the channel. We're a very special group here and we're lucky to have you and we hope you feel you're lucky to have us too. So we will talk very soon.